Hello everyone, I'm sure you are all set to test your knowledge about behavioral finance, and that is why I've created this video with 10 quiz questions which will give you insight about some of the key concepts of behavioral finance. I'm sure this will be useful also from examination perspective, various types of exams in which questions related to behavioral finance are often asked. So with that context, let me start this video with the first question, which is related to more of a cognitive error than a bias. But we have to understand this very clearly that in behavioral finance, we consider both cognitive errors and the emotional biases. So the question is very clear. People are willing to take more risk with money that is perceived as windfall gain or lottery winnings. This statement reflects which of the below mentioned cognitive errors. So basically, the question is trying to understand, how do we, how do we treat different types of money that we get in our life, different sources. We can get money from lottery, from salary, from bonuses. So, because of this cognitive error, which is mental accounting, we treat money differently and we do not treat them as fungible. Okay, that's why this answer is D. Now let me move to the second question, which is a fill in the blank, and it says the question it is an emotional bias in which people value an asset more when they hold rights to it than when they do not. So it's like, since I am having assets, I would value it more. This is called as the endowment bias, and that's why we have answer as the C here. Let me move quickly to the third question. Third question is, a very interesting question, and it's a question around a scenario. So employees in an organization were nudged to enroll for pension plans, okay, which they were not doing otherwise, and because of this nudge effect, what has happened is that the enrollment has gone up now. So what type of bias is this? So we will call this as a status quo bias. Why status quo bias? Because employees have to be kind of told to benefit from pension plan. They were not ready, they were happy with the status quo, but this kind of a step has encouraged them to enroll for pension plan. Let us move to the fourth quiz question quickly to avoid this cognitive error. And as I said in the beginning, we are looking at emotional biases and cognitive errors both. People should consider money as fungible and treat all money same. So I'm sure you would have got the hint now. We just discussed this part a couple of minutes back. Regardless of its origin or use, which is the bias mentioned in the previous statement. That is the first line here. And this is without any doubt, this is about mental accounting. Again, this is checking the concept. The previous one was an example. Which of the below mentioned, which is the quiz number 5, which of the below mentioned terms best describes cognitive limitation of mind, where in absence of time and complete information, decision making favors satisficing, okay, solution instead of an optimal one. So satisficing is something which has to do with satisfaction, okay, and it's not something where you are looking at an optimal solution, okay. So optimal solution will be used more when you are very rational. So the answer here obviously becomes what is called as bounded rationality. So this is the option 2. Let us move to the quiz 6 now, and it's a little lengthier one than what we have seen till now. Which of the following statements is not true about cognitive errors? We have to be very clear that it's saying not true, which means 3 statements are true and 1 is not true. So cognitive errors are statistical information processing or memory errors that cause a person to deviate from rational behavior, which is absolutely true. Because of cognitive errors, people depend on thumb rules instead of doing exact calculation. Absolutely right. People are less likely to make cognitive errors if they remain vigilant. And it's not just about cognitive errors, it's true about many other errors also. So obviously we are left with the option D, which is because of cognitive errors at the time of decision making, individuals' feeling or emotions occur spontaneously, which is a result of deep-rooted personal experiences. And this is all about emotional biases. It is not about cognitive errors. So the answer is D. Let us move to the next question, which is very easy to understand, comprehend, and answer. It is again a fill in the blank, and it says it's a bias in which people demonstrate unwarranted larger faith in their own intuitive reasoning, judgments, and cognitive abilities. And needless to say, it is all about overconfidence bias, because many of us, tend to show the or demonstrate demonstrate overconfidence even with respect to something as basic as driving, and we would probably rate ourselves better than most of other drivers. Now let us move to the question number 8, which is basically focused on differentiating behavioral finance with the traditional finance, or the standard finance as it is called as. So which of the following statement is not true about behavioral finance? Again, it's a question on the concepts of behavioral finance. Psychology at core and not economics. Absolutely correct. Loss aversion is the basis, which in turn makes an investor oversensitive to losses. Exactly the point that behavioral finance brings out. Decision is ad hoc based on thumb rules. Yes, that's also true. And decision making is rule driven and consistent under different scenarios. No, this is not true, because this is more to do with the traditional finance. So the answer again would be D. Now let us move to quiz 9, and we have one after this to come. An investor's choice will be influenced by how information or facts are presented. So it's very important that, if you are presented the same fact in a different way, your decision making may change. Okay. The statement best describes which of the following cognitive errors, and I would say it is framing, because framing is very important, the way questions are presented. Okay. And finally, the 10th question, which is behavioral finance differs from standard model of finance because behavioral finance, and there are 4 options here: precludes the impact of investor psychology, includes the impact of investor psychology, accepts the efficient market hypothesis, it doesn't actually, rejects the idea of market anomalies. No, only the statement B would be correct here, and that's why we have gone with the answer B. I hope these 10 questions were meaningful and useful for you. Please, if you have liked the content, please like this video and subscribe to my channel to encourage me to make more such videos. Thank you.